What is up, Sneeples? It is May. That means that we are going to be doing a recap of April, looking at the tier list of last month from the Talishar data. That can all be found here on Fabrary. And we see that there has been 166,000 games that were played last month. A little bit of an increase from the month of March. So that's a little interesting. That's got to be people prepping up for the Pro Quest, getting reps in to practice up for that. So we're seeing just a 3,000 increase, but regardless. And then this is the first time we are seeing a meta without Dromai. And so, we got a new meta shakeup. So let's see what the results showed us. We are seeing a little bit here, but let's get it in a nice orderly fashion. First, I'm going to show you, this was March's. So this was March's tier list. That's why Dromai is still here, and we see how that looks. Now let's look at April, compare and contrast. All right. So Victor, still good. Still very, very good. In fact, we'll just say, instead of super good, still good. Anyhow, Victor's still number one up here. Next up, though, is a bit of a shakeup. We have Fabrary coming in second. All right. He scores about a 2% less of a win rate here. Victor at 55, Fabrary at 53. And, if you've been watching these videos, we were seeing Fabrary creep up, right? Fabrary was at the top of B range in the first Talishar, or the first meta video we made. Here in March, we see him getting closer and closer. Now he's up here, and it's starting to get to the point where I'm actually seeing in real life some Fabraries coming out of hiding and starting to reappear back into the meta. So Fabrary is very real, and we're seeing him more and more now, and he is a contender. So the rune chant is something to really focus on. There might be only one wizard, but there is two reasons to have no rune. Now that Fabrary is doing so well. We have Kasai here. She's still holding pretty strong, keeping her place. She used to be, right there with Victor, but Victor definitely, took a little bit of a leap up where she's kind of still holding pretty solid at A rank. Azalea, she's holding up there too. We see all the culprits. The only thing that's missing is Bolton. Bolton actually kind of took a step down, and then KO is taking a step up, right? So KO and Bolton just kind of traded places there. KO is going to get his new equipment from this new constructed deck that LSS is selling. So we'll see if that actually does anything to bump him up in the next month's meta. But for now, this is what we are seeing. And our per board Bolton, he will also get one as well. So it'll be very curious to see if him and KO both get to move up. But for now, this is what we're getting. The usual suspects, but Fabrary definitely making that big stand. So let's look at Fabrary. Let's see what Fabrary's good and bad matchups are. So Azalea, bad matchups, that is an A rank hero, so you do have to worry about that. But Kasai being an A rank hero, and that's being a very good matchup, hey, we take those. And so that might really be a big contribution. Victor about 53%. So if you can get, about 50% into the best deck, hey, all right, you'll take those. And then everyone else, I mean, you can just see he has just overall very good. His only real bad matchup is Azalea. Everything else is about, 50%, maybe a little bit bad to 5, but mostly all right. Azalea just being the one big one. So as long as Fabrary can dodge Azaleas, they'll be all right. So that is what we have on A rank. Let's get into the B rank here, where you have to be a little bit lucky to get the win. You can probably get top 8 with these heroes. Very interesting to see Riptide. Pretty solid standing in the B rank. He was often towards the end here. You saw him in the middle here. And then, in our first video, he was kind of like here and here. But now he's moving up the ranks, old Riptide. Riptide and Uzuri are both moving up. This is definitely with the departure of Dromai. These heroes get much better. Some of their bad matchups now are just a little less. So they're moving up. Obviously, they're going to have a little bit of trouble in some of the field, but not all the field. But yeah, they can definitely hold their own. Let's give Riptide a look. just because, we haven't talked about Riptide a whole too much. Holding's, very even at 50%. And has good matchups into Dromai and Dorinthia and Kasai. So, I mean, if you look at that, like, that's three right there. And then Azalea 50-50. Okay, not terrible. Not terrible at all. KO 50-50. Okay, these are things we can live with. Let's look at the back end here. And this is where we see, oh, it's just so hard, right? This is what's killing our boy Riptide. You do have to definitely dodge the best deck in the format, which is why he's on the Be Lucky tier. Be lucky to dodge this matchup. But if you can dodge that matchup as Riptide, you're going to do pretty well into mostly everything else. So that's really good for Riptide. I mean, even Viscerai, it's not the best, but it's not the worst, right? So, Riptide's a very strong contender right now, which is cool. Riptide fans rejoice. This might be, your time coming, at least in the current meta. We'll see what the part the Misspell brings out. One thing we are seeing as well is Prism. Prism has always kind of been basically strong here, but we're starting to see her more and more as far as decks to worry about. She's still just a B rank hero. She does have some of her bad matchups here. And it's just it can be tough for old Prism sometimes, but if you run into a good Prism player, I mean, she probably feels more like top of the A rank if it's a really good pilot. So watch out for those Prism players. They tend to definitely push the stats up for her. Bravo, Katsu, they are kind of where we expect them. They haven't really done too much, and the departure of Dromai doesn't affect too many things. You can see like they're kind of going down a little bit because Riptide and Zuri went up. But yeah, but now Reinhardt is starting to make his way up. Reinhardt was in the C tier for all these videos. Now he's in the B tier. So Reinhardt definitely making a push to be relevant. Definitely looking to take advantage of all these defend heavy decks. And yeah, I think he has a good shot. I mean, if you look at a lot of these A rank heroes and then the S rank here, that could be a very good matchup for Reinhardt, right? So the same reason why KO is in A rank, Reinhardt is in B rank. And then we have Vincent. Vincent actually just made it into B tier last time. Didn't feel like that was gonna last, but held strong, stayed in the B tier, definitely on the lower end of B tier, but with Dromai gone and Prism's becoming a little bit more popular, as well as just Runeblade just seems to do a little bit better now, and so I think that's what's helping Vincent out. And maybe it's time to learn how to play or play against Vincent. So there's Vincent for us. Now let's get into the C tier, and we start off with Kano. I've been playing Kano for this ProQuest season. I've been able to top 8 every time, but what happens? Well, the first one I beat a KO, and then I lost to a Prism. Bad matchup. The second one I lost to Azalea. Not that great of a matchup. So Kano, yeah, definitely dropped down. Let's see why. I think it's just his bad matchups are, despite Dromai leaving, his bad matchups are just still around. So Azalea is sitting at 40%, not great. Obviously, you love Guardian, but Dash is doing well in the meta right now. That's a terrible matchup. Katsu can be a bad one. KO, not the greatest. Prism, just a deadly one. That's so hard. But yes, you do have a very good matchup into Victor. You have a good matchup into Kasai. So you have good matchups into the Warriors and the Guardians. But past that, it's really hard for our boy Victor. Or for our boy Kano, I should say. Moving on from the C rank, we are seeing kind of our usual suspects here. We got Phi, Arachne. Although Arachne is holding pretty strong at the top of C rank. So, Arachne mains are keeping somewhat relevant, right? This could spike, right? So, a good Arachne player, maybe, just maybe, right? One hero that kind of took a dip is Dash.io, which is kind of surprising to me. I thought maybe she would actually kind of bump herself up, but the truth is she's a tricky deck. She's not a very intuitive deck, and you do have to be a very good Dash.io player to make her work. And yeah, if you're just an average Dash.io player, it's probably a hard day for you. So that's what I think why we're seeing her take a little bit of a step back to some of these heroes that are a little bit more intuitive to play, with the exception of Kano, of course. And then we are seeing Tech Leviathan kind of take a step up. Definitely Dromai leaving helps with that. Tech Leviathan, just like Kano, has good matchups in Guardians and Warriors. But, you know, just kind of suffers into everything else. And then Leviathan. Leviathan's a big one because if we look at it, Leviathan took a huge step down. So let's talk about Leviathan real quick. I mean, even Reinar has better, you know, percentages than Leviathan here. So we're just seeing that, you know, against the top heroes right now, it's just not good for Brutes. Let's compare her to KO. Let's see why. Because like Levi and KO, we're kind of hand in hand in the beginning of the heavy hitters season, but now like one is still doing fine, but the other one's struggling. So let's see why. So, you know, you're not going to see very many Arachne or Betsy's, but here we get into Dorinthia's and dashes. KO's a little bit better than dash, so that actually matters. And then Kasai, you're just seeing like it hurts a little bit more to be Leviathan than it does KO against your bad matchups, and that really might just be what it is. I don't know. This one's kind of weird. We're just gonna move on from that one. Let's see the back end here. I think this is where it's at, right? Victor can basically try to fatigue or block out Leviathan a little bit better than he could at KO, at least according to these stats. And so that's really what's hurting Leviathan quite a bit. We're also seeing the inclusion of Viscerai being a troublesome factor for her as well. So Leviathan definitely taking some lumps on the chin. Going from here in March being in the B rank, I'd be at, you know, a little low B, like a B minus, but now just in kind of a C minus. So took a huge loss, unfortunately, for Leviathan fans, for, you know, the Mansants out there. Max also is just kind of staying in the bottom. Betsy, she got out of the don't play. I think this is definitely with the help of the person that was able to top 8 a San Francisco battle hardened with Betsy. That definitely helped bring her back to relevance. People kind of discovering, oh, just play her like a Guardian, you know, and that helps her to get from the D rank to the C rank. So Betsy escaped, and then our boy Olympia is still as in the D don't play rank. But of course, with his new spoiler, I have high hopes. I am making decks already. I think, you know, we could even see him in the air rank. You know, I'm very optimistic for Olympia. So Olympia mains, hold on. The winter will be over soon. Summer is very much here, and the day will come where you are in relevancy of the meta tier list. So that is April. That is 166,000 games played. This is your tier list for April. And that's what we have going on. So you know, there's one more Pro Quest this weekend as recording on the 2nd of May. And then we get into the Misspells. So a lot's going to be happening next month. A lot to break down and go over to get us ready for Nationals. So I want to give a huge shout out to all of our Patreons out there. And here is all of you guys. Thank you so much. I very much appreciate all the support. It helps me, Gabe, a huge amount. Good luck, everybody. And thanks for watching. Keep on fabbing.